Good day, my name is Nick and welcome to part 2 of our review of Sega Smash Pack on the Game Boy Advance. Produced by THQ in 2002 and licensed by Sega. If you've seen the first part of this, you'll see we've already reviewed Golden Axe. So let's have a look at Sonic Spinball. So this cartridge consists of 3 games: Golden Axe, Sonic Spinball and Echo the Dolphin. Now this game originally came out individually on the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis in 1993, and now we see it as a part of a 3-pack on the Game Boy Advance. Bit lackluster this. I preferred it on the Sega Mega Drive. It seems to struggle a bit, this. Doesn't quite work on the small screen. The graphics seem slightly lost, but not an accurate recreation of Pinball, but it's not trying to be. Now instead of a ball, you have the Sonic character, the Hedgehog Man, and you can also influence his direction after he's gone past the flippers slightly. So a slight discretion. Here we go. It's a rather odd table, this one, but basically get all the rings. That's essentially it. Yes. I try and get some skill involved in this as I get eaten by that dinosaur thing, but there isn't much skill in it really. Just, unlike a real pinball table, you have to get to learn it. This one turns into just bash it round everywhere. So I'm not a huge fan of this. As I said, if I'd bought this cartridge, it would have been for Golden Axe rather than the other 2 games. But let's give it a fair crack at the crap. Oh dear, that was subconscious. Let's give this a fair crack of the whip. Sonic Spinball, not Pinball, Spinball, and the spin named after the character's characteristic movements in the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Which well, being an Amiga man, I haven't played too much Sonic the Hedgehog. But it's inevitable. If I live for 100 more years, I'd probably have to review it at some point. Right, so the music playing is something or other. Doesn't feel like pinball at all. The frame rate isn't brilliant on this Game Boy Advance version, but there's certain different tricks you can do. Oops. Hit it onto higher tables, but that's it really. My eyes are going weird already, and I'm also getting a bit of a nasty headache. If it was just a cartridge with this on it at full price, I'd give it 0.2 out of 10. Not a huge fan. I'd rather play noughts and crosses in hell with a rusty biro. Needs something else this, but I get the impression that on this Sega Smash Pack, the makers, THQ, were desperate for it to sell, so they wanted to get anything with Sonic the Hedgehog on, which was the Sega's diamond in the rough. And yeah, they come up with this. Why don't they just put a normal Sonic the Hedgehog game on it? That would have been fantastic. But no, they've gone for this pinball thing, which is maybe just an afterthought. I also have this on the PlayStation 3 as a part of the Sega Mega Drive Super Hits collection. That plays a lot better than this, only because the frame rate I think is a bit better and the graphics are a bit more crisper. But it's a novel idea, focusing on the positives there, knocking a hedgehog around rather than a pinball. But I would have preferred a pinball. Now there is a hidden multi-ball on this. We drain the fluid in there. There's a hidden multi-ball somewhere. I don't know how you get that. But the music gets quite repetitive after a while, doesn't it really? I didn't own a Sega Mega Drive or Genesis or Master System, but I did play them around a friend's house briefly. And to be fair, the games I saw were pretty good. They had a certain feel to them. Like all computers tend to have their own feel. You can tell an Amiga game just by looking at it, a Spectrum game just by looking at it, and a Commodore 64 game just by looking at it. Later games not so much unless you get a magnifying glass out, but these retro systems definitely you know what they're on. If you saw this like this, you'd maybe think Sega Mega Drive first, but on closer inspection you'll see the graphics clarity and think, yeah, that must be on the Game Boy Advance screen. But to waste a few minutes as an extra to Golden Axe, it's not a bad addition. As I said in my last review of the first game, Golden Axe, when we place this in the top 6 this week in the roundup, we won't consider these individual games, we'll consider them all as one as a cartridge. So that might give them extra power, or it might let them down a bit. Yeah, all 3 games really don't seem really that well finished. Golden Axe is my favourite on the thing. This Sonic Spinball is probably second, and Echo the Dolphin will come to it is third. There don't seem to be too much to do on that one. But I read another review for doing this, and their views were the reverse. I think it was on IGN. They seem to think that Echo the Dolphin was the best one and Golden Axe was the worst. So complete opposite to what I think. It's all about different opinions really, but Echo the Dolphin, it seems rather bland really. It doesn't seem like a game at all. It's just exploration and stuff, but you'll soon see on the next review, which we'll put up after this one. Unless I'm hit by an asteroid. But if I'm hit by an asteroid, it'd probably be a big asteroid, because I can pretty much dart out the way, and you'll probably be flattened as well, and we've probably got other things on our mind, like being Mad Max people collecting fuel. Am I going off on a tangent again? Now, I do apologise if you can hear loud fireworks in the background, because it's, well, it's not firework night anymore, but as per usual, people buy too many fireworks and let them off the day afterwards for some reason. So they normally let them off when I'm doing a review. That's what I remember last year, but we seem to siphon them out. Or when I've gone to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning and got to go to work the next day. Who are these people that let off fireworks? So we used all 3 balls there, Sonic Spinball. Let's have one more go. But it's probably going to be roughly the same gameplay again. Wow, you must have heard that firework. That was well loud. Come on, Sonic, and your nice shoes. Bomb, 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 bomb. But you know, Sonic the Hedgehog overall was a huge, huge success for Sega. I don't know how many games sold with him in it, but loads. Later on, his assistant Tails come into it, but Sonic the Hedgehog, can't argue with it. It's hard to think of any other franchise that sold as much as this on some of the retro games I cover. You got Super Mario, that's on the Nintendo, which I don't cover. Well, you can count the Game Boy Advance in Nintendo, I suppose. None of the Spectrum characters really took off as much as this. You had Minor Willy and Jet Set Willy in there, but not in this like hundreds of thousands. To be big in computer gaming, I think you have to break America, and the ZX Spectrum was very rather English. Commodore Amiga very European and English as well. You know, to be big, you've got to be big in America, it seems. Or maybe Japan now, you can get away with that. Eventually you need some sort of Chinese involved. Right, how are we doing? I'm smashing this hedgehog all around the pinball table. I'm sure the RSPCA would be very interested in this. But Sonic can take it. Oops, get out there. Yes. I'm doing very average here. If you're unaccustomed to this game, you might not know how well I'm doing. I'm not doing very well. Haven't got any rings for a while, have we? But you've got to clear all the rings. We've got a few there. And then you can access other bits of the table. I seem to remember when I played it on the PlayStation 3, on the Sega hits, I did quite a bit better than this. Went all over the shop. I had games that last probably about 45 minutes to an hour. We don't want this review to last that long, so maybe it's just as well I've suddenly gone a bit rubbish. Boom. So if you know nothing about pinball and want to get into it, don't use this as an example. It's called Spinball, but it is not pinball by any shape or form. It's some loose representation. It's taken pinball as its influence. If I was trying to convince people that pinball was good, I wouldn't use this game first of all. It's not a true reflection. It's not Pinball Arcade, it's not Pinball 2, but take it for what it is a rather nice fun game. Right, how many balls we got left? Said Adolf Hitler. I think it's 1. You need 3 emerald diamonds. You might have seen them when we went up the top somewhere. We need to unlock various bits and bobs. Tough luck, Sharky. Burgle Sharky, maybe. Boof. Got a nice feeling to it when you hit Sonic with a flipper. I haven't worked out how to do the flippers independently. Maybe you can't. If you can, comment below. They seem to both go at the same time, no matter what I press. Whoops, he saved himself there. If we get that... Whoops. I think I've been eaten. If we get that bird that's flying in the middle, we get bonus points. 2.465 million. That's pretty rubbish. Right, next ball up. As another firework goes off in the background. It's either fireworks or I'm being attacked by the Taliban. I can't look out the window at the moment because I'm dedicated into doing this review. That is my dedication to you. Stick with me. Until you don't hear anything, and then it probably... Oh, let's try and lean through here. Yay! Stick with me, and if you don't hear anything for a while, I was going to say it probably means something's gone wrong. But then if that's happened, how have I uploaded it in the first place? This isn't a live stream, you know. Various people say to me, you need to start doing Twitch in case YouTube disappears one day. Yeah. I don't know, I'm not big enough to do Twitch, am I? I could be twitching live and no one would be watching. That's not good. Imagine doing a play to a theatre with no one in it. At least in this recorded stuff, if no one watches it in the short term, in the long term, say 10 years, at least they might watch it. Hello, if you're watching this in 10 years' time. Comment below if you are. If the channel's still running, message me and say, well done, you're still running after 10 years. Say hooray and maybe tell a joke. Make sure it's funny though, so I can use it in a video. Come on, you daft hedgehog. Oh dear. I think that's me done. Game over. So there we go. So that was the second game in the Sega Smash Pack, published by THQ in 2002. That one was Sonic Spinball. Now we'll come to Echo the Dolphin next, so keep your eyes peeled. Thanks for watching as always. Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.